One would think that having tried to cast a video 3 times, or rather having cast a video 3 times, and realizing that you didn't have your recording software on, that the 4th time, you would actually get it right. I mean, you've had 3 dry runs, right? I mean, you know what you're going to say. But no, this is number 5, because on my 4th run, where the recording software was definitely working, I just zoned out completely. So, on the bottom, EG's Jaedong. On the top, RootHydra. The map, Vanni Research Station. The matchup, a ZvZ. I am FTV vladerag, here to bring you another pro-level StarCraft cast. Sans the technical difficulties that you all don't have to deal with, because YouTube doesn't have recordings of me angrily saying if I'm effing going to have to record this again, I'm going to throw my newly bought computer / recording software into the wall. But hey, at least the graphics are better, and this actually runs better. My entire computer, I got a new one, which actually can run StarCraft on Extreme. It's a laptop, by the way, not $1,000 ones. I'm running Extreme on 10 FPS, but, you know, it's running Extreme. Just okay, let's just call it that. And I can run it in campaign only, but whatever, it looks beautiful to me. My new computer is actually able to run this at medium-high without me getting a message when I'm recording, be right up there, that I need to lower my graphics or else it will slow down my computer. Of course, the funny thing is that when actually talking about recording for YouTube, it's like, the recording software is like, if you pay this extra amount, you can record it 60 frames per second. I'm like, YouTube only goes up 30, so no. Anyway, I'm actually trying out XSplit, which I will probably consider buying depending on the response this video gets and whether people like this over my videos made with Fraps. It does have a lot more options than Fraps, and I like that a lot. However, I don't know if I'm just pressing the buttons wrong, if I messed up my hotkeys for actually starting it, or if it's just annoying to actually try and start a recording. Because, again, I've done this like 4 times. But, you know, benefit of the doubt, I had the same problem with Fraps when I started, and it makes files considerably smaller than that. So, I will handle it. Now, talking about the game. First thing to mention is the map. Very, very safe, natural expand, very, very difficult to protect third base. Simply because this area here, very, very large, difficult to wall off. Not that ZvZ really is capable of that, although you will actually be seeing them wall off here later in the game, which makes sense. It's actually a very common thing to do and a very sensible thing to do. They'll just spread the creep and get it done. Out of Hydra, we are actually going to be seeing a couple of Lings move out aggressively. One of the things I did mention is that while this map is not actually the best for macro, simply because, again, this is difficult to hold, this is difficult to hold, this is impossible to hold, unless you're aggressive. Difficult for macro, very good for aggression as he dodges that Overlord. Nicely done. I assume he just assumed it would be there. However, he is going to see these Lings, don't know if he expects more or less. Chasing that Overlord, moving that back. One of the things I did mention is that Queens are so slow, but they're faster than Overlords, which I just love that. They're faster than Overlords, until you get speed anyway. So you can actually send out your Queens to hunt down. Is that a clipping issue? Huh. Alright, anyways. A little bit of delay in mining time. I thought it was clipping through the minerals weird. Like it was, the Queen was standing on top of the minerals. That's an odd thing to say. You see, as you watch a video multiple times, you start to notice weird things. Like, at one point I was mentioning how, this is a weird mix of Xeris and Emogen assets from the campaign. That's one of the things I was mentioning, and, you know, stuff like that. Okay, back to the actual game, though. We are seeing early gas out of Jaedong. I shouldn't say early, because actually going for speed in ZvZ is very common. But on this map, this is very early. The reasoning being that actually holding this ramp for Zerg is easy. You just put, yeah, see, right here. Like, just like this. Couple of Queens, and they can hold it. Doesn't matter how fast you are, because the Queens will, you know, hold it anyway. I'm going to see, actually, they just hunted down that Overlord, they're actually going to cause a bit of problems. Supply blocking Jaedong, I don't think he expected to lose that. And this is actually giving Hydra a bit of an edge, which I think is, if I remember correctly, persists quite a bit in the game. And here you get to see in the perfectly placed Spine Crawler. Oh, that's just lovely to see. Because of this, and because of this additional wall off here, Speed isn't able to do anything until Hydra moves out for his third base. It is able to guarantee Jaedong a bit of safety, allowing him to take his third basically safely. But it's you know, do I choose Tech or do I choose an Expand? And in this case, because he lost that Overlord, I think Hydra might lose his too. Because of the timing of that, I don't know if this will be enough for Jaedong to actually catch up to Hydra. He's actually gone past him there, so, you know, maybe that is enough. But the issue comes down to that he's not that ahead in drone. And unless, I mean, the purpose of taking this, well, he hasn't finished it yet, but the purpose of doing this is to have a higher drone count. And what we're actually going to see throughout this game is that Jaedong is not really able to maintain that. And especially, well, I won't spoil anything for you fine viewers, all two of you that watch my videos. However, we will be seeing that as a bit of an issue, and it's something that I personally think he kind of needs to work on with this map. The early speed, yeah, coming out to pressure, but you're going to see, they've already got the roaches out, he's already got a Spine Crawler up. And while it is true that when you actually start talking about large numbers of lings versus sort of medium to small numbers of roaches, lings do win. You'll actually notice they do very well here in this. Killing off queen, I think they get that queen too, I don't remember quite precisely. Yep, 2 queens, but doesn't get a whole lot else. And in the meantime, all these roaches are moving across the map. And what do we actually have to defend against this? Nothing. We have 4 lings out, and we have 9 roaches on the way, as opposed to the lots of lings and roaches out of Hydra. And this actually comes down to part of my point about the early speed. Committing to speed and committing to ling, especially when you take an early expand like that, an earlier third, in my opinion, you probably should have invested those lings instead. That larva should have been drone. Especially now, because he's actually forced to pull drones off the line to even survive this. He's going to lose a lot, losing 9 drones, I think, in total at the end. Tell me, in the comments, if any of you ever bother to comment, is it more fun with me having watched a game and being able to comment sort of before it happens? Mentioning drone kills at 7, I guess. Looks like a 9, close enough. Mentioning drone kills and things that happen, is it more fun with me being able to analyze at a much deeper level, or is it more fun me being surprised and excited about the battles that are happening? Sort of an interesting thought to have, actually, as we did see Burrow get cancelled by Hydra. I didn't even notice that he started that at some crappy caster I am. Watch a game 4 times. Didn't notice him researching Burrow and cancelling it. Wow, well done, vladerag. Anyway, we are seeing more lings move out here. If they're able to do, I mean, he has to do damage with it, really. And that's the thing. If you get speedlings, you have to do damage. So far, managed a drone kill and a queen kill, and 2 drones. 2 drones and a queen. Was that worth the early speed? Because the thing is that those drone and queen kills aren't putting him ahead in the drone count. They're keeping him floating in the drone count. They're keeping him in the game. And, you know, this was one of the more interesting ZvZs from a strategic standpoint. Not so much my normal micro fun time, ling, baneling, muta harass micro fun times, which I've always loved in ZvZ, but there was a lot of strategic play in this game that was really worth mentioning, and having watched it several times, I feel like it's nice to point out. For example, we're actually going to be seeing, well, no, I'll save that one for a bit of a surprise, because it is quite nice. One of the things to note about having roaches and your only air defense being queens Because the Overseers, for the most part, have the run of the map, and we're actually going to be seeing that come into play quite a bit. We get to see the Overlords and Overseers sort of replacing normal creep spread, which does give Zerg a very strong defender's advantage, by the way, because no creep here. If I'm sending units from here to here, they'll be fast on my creep, but then they'll slow down here, whereas I'm sending units from here to here, it's all creep all the way. Seeing them start to move out and deny that creep, keep that advantage, and deny vision, always important. And we are seeing the upgrades coming out. I actually want to keep sort of a closer eye on these upgrades, because there's some shenanigans that go on with this game that I love. I want to try and... Nope, then yep, okay, these roaches here. Getting kills, and actually he was just able to walk them in, which I'm kind of amazed by. I'm kind of amazed by that, because you would think Jaedong would have noticed that, but I guess with enough happening, it's difficult to. Okay, anyways, regardless, getting back to the game and the cracks, which females and species are less impressive if the males compete for their attention. Well, they're based off the peacock, basically. Either way, one of the things I do love from Hydra, who I know almost nothing about, besides this little move right here, that's what I was waiting for. Oh, contaminating that. Oh, it's beautiful, a beautiful thing. There is, by the way, a Vanni nest going down. I know it's odd that I mentioned it so late, but again, I've seen this 4 times, that it almost seems unremarkable at this point. It's like, oh yeah, and then this happens at, like, 12 minutes. Okay, what I love from him is his positioning with his roaches, which, I'm going to be honest, I think he outplays Jaedong in the sense, like, this catch right here. Hydra is just, look at that. Look how little of Jaedong was at first engaging this battle. And look at the movement, just the way he engaged there, when he engaged, gave Hydra definitely the better edge in this battle, allowing him to win out in the end. But actually talking about this and the centrifugal hooks on the way, ignoring the mass death of roaches going on here, I really dislike this move. I was mentioning in cast number 3, the third attempt on this cast, that as a caster, it is sometimes odd to talk about what a player should or shouldn't do, because I'm not at their level of play. I'm not pro-Korean, MLG level player. I'm, gold struggling to get into platinum. So it's awkward to talk about and say, ugh, this huge mistake. Why would you get a Baneling nest? But I'm going to ask it anyways. While we have Jaedong here going for Burrow, which in ZvZ with roaches I love. I feel it's one of the best upgrades for roaches to have, simply because of their ridiculous regeneration speed, which is sadly underutilized. I just don't see it utilized very much, despite how awesome it is. Talking about that, compared to Banelings and centrifugal hooks, it takes like 7-8 Banelings to kill a roach, and roaches are fairly decently sized units. We're seeing the dance positioning here. They're fairly decently sized units, not like Marine Zealots or Zerglings, which tend to pack close together. They're armored, so they're not like Hydralisks either, which are at least light units and so take a lot of damage. And they're not buildings, of course, and buildings are the only other thing that Banelings do very well against. So what's the point? What's the point of the Baneling? I mean, it's... what? 50 plus 25 or something like that. I actually got to think of how much precisely a Baneling costs. We do have a battle here. Banelings, and they don't even hold up very well. It's very easy for roaches to pick them off before they even get to them. And the thing is that I feel like Hydra would have won this fight without the Banelings. I feel like the Banelings were not actually part of his win. Though again, you're seeing the burrow and how difficult it is to kill burrowed roaches, even for other roaches, because they almost heal faster than they can kill. You're going to see it right here. This roach was basically healing faster than this roach could kill it. And when you start looking at that in ZvZ and comparing it to, say, Baneling, that's a much better advantage to have, that sort of, crazy healing. And as we see, tunneling Crow, I think he's finished tunneling Claws? Claws. He's finished tunneling claws. So now what? Now you're getting roaches. These roaches can go wherever they want. They're gonna go right into the mineral line. That's where they're gonna go. And was this a mistake? Because we're watching Jaedong, who, to be frank, aside from this battle here, which he does get a nice position on, and finally is able to push us back, even as he's trying to get drones. But for the most part, this is the first actual roach battle that's gone Jaedong's favor. For the most part, Hydra's been taking them. He's been taking these battles and winning them very well. But suddenly he just doesn't have enough roaches, and I feel that is because he had Baneling. The Banelings cost gas. The actual cost of taking 2 lings and turning them into 2 Baneling. It's 50 for the 2 Zerglings. Then I think it's 25 for the Baneling. I wish I could actually select, like, is there a Zergling somewhere? Zergling? Zergling anywhere? Nope. As I accidentally hit the forward button. So, how are you all doing? Wow, caster mishap there. Let's go back. Let's go back. I mean, I've already spoiled everything now, haven't I? It's all done. The game over. There we go. You know, 5th time's charm, and I am another caster mishap. Well done, me. Well done. But maybe this will allow me to go back and actually see a ling. See, the thing was that I actually hit the shortcut for fast forward on my keyboard, and just, yeah. Another day, another time vladerag messes up. But you can actually see at this point. Look at our supply difference. Look at our difference in resources. Look at the difference in map control. The fact that he's able to take his gold, whereas he's struggling to keep up his 4th base. Where does this happen? Especially because Hydra really was getting the better of the battles early on and had, for the most part, the advantage. He's actually going to GG here in like 2 seconds. So what was it? I think it was the Baneling. Anyway, I'm not here to analyze, not this game anyways. I'm just here to show you and cast, and hope you enjoyed another ZvZ. This is FDB vladerag, signing off.